is all about transforming the lives of the people, not just transforming the economy. One of the great lines, I can say, in terms of development, what you are doing, how you are doing, and how many people are affecting or means getting incentives of that development. We are having Mr. Arpit Kumar. He is doing a master's from Warsaw University of Technology, graduated from Gobind Singh University, worked as a web developer for around, I can say, for 1.5 years in Spymon. And the difference, and he is having a knowledge of different expertise in terms of languages, Python, Java, and many more. To know about those students who just want to go for the foreign studies in Poland or the Europe areas, what are their eligibility criteria, difficulties, experiences, and everything which we will discuss in this podcast session. So, welcome to have you, sir, on this podcast session.
Thank you, Rajat. Thank you for having me here. Nice to see you.
So, Bhaiya, I can call you Bhaiya because you are
Yeah,
senior to me.
of course, yeah.
So basically, what's your educational journey? Means apart from you graduated from IP University, apart from the goals.
So my educational background has been like apart from my bachelor's, did my 12th. If I go back, if I did my 12th from government school, not from a fancy one. And after completing my bachelor's, I wanted to study abroad. Everyone has their fantasy, so I started digging it up, and here I am. I'm studying in Poland, Warsaw University of Technology, and I'm doing my master's here in telecommunication.
So, what are the current projects and the innovations which you are doing right now?
So, Rajat, the courses and the structure here is quite a little bit different what we used to in our country. So, mostly here, it's not about project; it's about research here.
Okay.
So, project we will get in each semester for each different subjects that goes throughout the semesters, throughout the studies. But in the end, in order to graduate here, you need to present thesis. You have to write thesis here. There is no other options like what we have project based where we can graduate, but you have to write thesis here. So basically, I'm still looking for my supervisor, but planning to do my thesis on basically IoT and cybersecurity.
Now comes the main point that for which we have to discuss that as a student and as a perspective. I just want to know that what are the eligibility criteria for studying in the Poland or Europe, and how you have started everything for this process.
So when I started, I had no idea what to look and what to go for. So I basically just went to the university website, and you will have all the information, which is quite simple. And any individual can apply. They don't have to go to any agents and all that. So the basic criteria is like you need to have a degree, IELTS, simple, and you need to pay application fee. That's it. That's nothing else you need besides
Your
that.
time, what was the amount of that application?
So application fee is like at my time was 85 zloty, which is local currency, and if we convert it into our Indian currency, it would be roughly around 17 to 1800 only.
So means the criteria is related to means they are checking for the your graduation marks. Graduation marks plus the extracurricular activities are also there, or they are just checking your IELTS score?
They basically focus on your bachelor's. They don't have like particular criteria for, I'm talking about especially for masters. So they don't have like we have, you need to have 70% score or 60% score or something. They just take your mark sheet and analyze it individually.
Okay.
Like they go through your subjects and all that. and that faculty respond to the international office whether you are selected or not.
Okay. So, when you are applying, so what are the documents which are required for the application process? And when
So,
you have visited the university also, what kind of documents you have to submit?
so, uh, so when I was applying, so basically what I also submitted my 10th, 12th mark sheet and certificate and my bachelor's degree.
Okay.
But some people don't have the final degree, but you can submit your provisional one as well. So the thing is, and the really important notice is like your degree has to be apostille. Apostille is like a legalization that your document is valid in the different countries. It's a simple
And how
procedure.
it
You
can
can
be?
go.
How we can do that? Means we have to add from India only, or after
Yeah,
we
from
will go
it's
for.
it's gonna be from India. So there are like 2 or 3 procedure to get legalized your documents,
Okay.
apostille to be specific. One way is to apply in Polish embassies. In this example, where you want to go, you have to submit your document for legalization, and they will legalize it. Simple. Other option is like from our HRD, education department. First, you have to go there, and they will verify your documents.
Okay.
Then you have to go in Delhi specifically in order to put an apostille. You need to go IVS office, IVF something. It's near Connaught Place. So there you submit your documents, and they will charge you fee, and then you will get in 3 or 4 days you will get your documents apostille.
Okay. So means at the time of when we are submitting the application form, then only we have to submit these documents to.
No, no. I think like you can apply without apostille.
Okay.
Once you get accepted,
Okay.
once
Okay.
you
Okay.
will come here, then you have to submit apostille documents.
So, what are the scholarship schemes if you know that for the students? Like, if I am going for Europe or Holland or different countries like Sweden and different Ireland also. So, if you know any scholarship schemes or any the government, their own governments, some schemes for the students' welfare for the foreign students who are coming for study purpose. So any scholarship schemes are there or not?
Okay, so as I know, like for India, there is only one scholarship program which was recently introduced, and the organization is called as NAVA, which is
Nava.
like government NAVA,
Okay.
which is government based, and there you have to apply. And just take an example, if you go for masters, it's not for bachelor. There is no scholarship for bachelors. You
Okay.
just have to apply for masters, and in the master, the procedure is like just fill up the form, and you have to write a proposal for your thesis,
Okay.
what you're gonna do,
Okay.
and once you are lucky enough to get selected, your expenses and your living cost and your
Okay.
tuition fee, it's free.
That's pretty awesome. So Bhaiya, I just want to know that how means I'm little bit confused regarding that if I just want to go for Sweden or Poland, then
Mhm.
as per my graduation degree, then I have and even I have a work experience. Then how I can apply? And second thing is that किस प्रोसेस से मतलब वहाँ पे अगर हम लोग काम करना चाहें या नहीं करना चाहिए तो इस प्रोसेस पे वहाँ की गवर्नमेंट का कैसा स्टैंड है वो थोड़ा
So Rajat, to be honest, like it's gonna be hard a little bit here, as you know, their language is different, and there is not a lot of people speaks English, so there will be a might difficulty. But I see a student do work here. I haven't done yet. I done once only in summer vacation, but for me it's hard to do work during study time. But uh, if you want to work like in some restaurant or something, it's gonna be a little bit harder, as you know. their main requirement is, do you speak Polish? And Polish is a really hard language. So either you have to go through like you have some contacts or something who can get you in. Otherwise, most of the students I've seen here is doing Uber Eats delivery and all that. So that's also a good
It's a part-time job. We
source.
can do. There are options, I can say.
Yeah. Yes, you can do officially. If you're coming on student visa, then you can do definitely.
What about the visa process? I just want to know
Uh,
because if you can tell a little bit brief about the whole process.
so I think the hardest part of all the process is getting the visa.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about it. Let's talk about in my circumstances.
It's
I got my visa in the fifth time. So I got rejected almost four times before getting the final
what's the
visa.
procedure exactly? How we
So
have to apply and what are the? Because I just want to go, but I don't know about these process. So as a beginner, if you can tell.
okay, so as I was saying, at my time, the process was different, and now it's a little bit different. But still, you just need to go to the Polish embassy website. You will find the details. As far as I know now, uh, you have to go through IVS office. Like I think it's VFS actually. Sorry, VFS office. You need to get an appointment from there. At my time, it was like you need to go to the embassy website and there was a portal. You have to make an appointment, simple. But getting an appointment is the hardest part. There is a lot of traffic. It's not because just they are handling India traffic. They are handling from Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, even I think Afghanistan as well. So all the traffic comes to the New Delhi embassy. So that's why it's really hard to get an appointment. And once you get an appointment, then in my experience, the rejection ratio is really high. It's really high.
Means that's how the procedure which is goes around. Uh, as as a comparison, I just want to do a comparison
Hmm.
between a Indian university and a foreign university. What kind of differences or what kind of similarities they find
So the difference I felt like, especially
in terms of I can say a research project work
okay,
and a
hmm.
teacher or student conversation and means a stability between a students also the environment of studying or doing just some research work that kind of a thing which we want to know.
So Rajat, I can tell you from my experience only. I don't know about anyone else. So what I can say, in our university, there is fixed pattern, you
Okay.
know, and the course syllabus has been fixed, which doesn't has changed during a long time. The difference here is you get to study the latest technology, what's going latest, not like what we used to do in 10 years ago and all that. And the good thing is most of the studies, what we study here, it's par with the current trends. And also the research work is really tremendous here. As I said, like there is no project work like in order to graduate mainly. You have to write thesis. So they push research more, not just project based. And if you're planning to do PhD after your master's, I think this would be great options to do it. In terms of the difference, yes, I can say the teaching style is almost same. I haven't felt because during the pandemic we didn't have the chance to visit university, but I can say that teaching style I personally felt like in when it comes to English teaching, our teachers taught better in India. That's
Okay.
what I can say. That's what I have experienced because I it can happen like they teach better in Polish in their native language, but in English, as far as I know, like the content was good. It was up to the latest trends, but the teaching in English it makes it a little bit harder to understand. I I think that's the only the language barrier. That's what I felt overall. But there are some, if I talk about younger teachers, the experience was great. They teach really good, and so far it's been like it depends on you what kind of course you want to go for. That's it.
So where how you prepared for IELTS?
IELTS. So in my case, I didn't require IELTS.
Okay. How?
Yeah, at that time
Okay.
uh, we studied a bachelor's in English medium.
Okay.
So that's some universities require that if you've done your bachelor's in English as a medium of instruction,
Okay.
then what you have to do is just get a medium instruction of medium certificate from your university, and you can put it in the documents instead of files. But it's not valid for all the university, I'm saying, and maybe it just changed, but you can do it. There is an option.
I just want to know that if I have to visit any university, what are the criteria or what are the thought of thoughts which I have to take in the mind that when I am searching for the university, that which university is best? Because I'm confused. If I have to go for a search, then how I have to find what are the criteria which you have followed to search for the best universities in terms of means for a beginner I am saying.
Okay. So it's pretty quite simple. First, I think you should go for the trade you want to study in. That's
Okay.
your should be main priority. And the second thing for me, I think it should be the state university, like the university which is named after their city, like which is a public university, not the private one. That will be the better for you. For example, I'm in Warsaw. So this is Warsaw University of
Capital of
Technology.
Poland.
Yeah, yeah. And suppose there is another city, Wrocław. So there is Wrocław University of Technology, Gdansk University of Technology. So I would suggest go for the public university, which is named after the cities. So those have more recognition.
Okay.
And as I said, your first priority should be your trade, the variety of uh, courses you want to do. In my university, in terms of English medium, the choices are pretty much not too much options we have, like core, it related to the core telecommunication. But recently, if someone decided someone wants to do masters in data science, so last year they introduced data science as a masters, and they can do it as well. So in terms of choices, I will say we have better choices here in Poland as compared to what we have back home in India.
So now comes the main important point which everyone thinks about. That is the total cost or the lump sum amount which we require to stay in Poland and go for these studies.
Okay, so Rajat, you can't put the amount for each individual. It depends on the person, how
Okay.
their way of living is, and all that. If we talk about the principal amount, let's say, uh, so there is like for my university, my per semester fees is like 2,700 euros per semester,
Okay.
which is still relatively cheaper than other European countries. And of course, it varies from different university to university. You will find cheaper one as well, but mine one is, I think, is the highest. You can find universities up to like 15 or 1,200 euros per semester as well. Let's talk about the living cost. If it would be better if you stay in the dormitory. The cheapest option you can get is to stay in the dormitory, university provided. So the currently amount I'm paying for a room, three-person shared room, it's almost like 10 to 11,000 per
What kind
month.
of difficulties which you have faced and also how you have overcome these things.
I think you should be prepared once when someone deciding to study in foreign countries. the person has to know about the country, especially
Okay.
like what learn about the basics, like little bit. I would suggest learn the basics of the language. It will definitely help you, really help, and the people do appreciate if you try to speak in their native language, and they will try to help you and try to respect their culture. Don't think like your culture is the correct one and what they have
Yeah.
there is the wrong one. And try to be open. I would say it's gonna be a shock when you come here, but I would say try to be open, not to be like close-minded and stay with your only Indian group. That's the main issue I see here. People just don't, especially I'm talking about our Indian group. I see a lot of Indian people just stay in their group. They don't socialize with the other people. And I think that's the main concerning part if you want to succeed here in a foreign country.
They just want to find their own Indian group and just
Comfort.
want to,
You
yeah,
need to
that
get out of
comfort.
your comfort zone. Yeah, you should get out of your comfort zone. You came to a different country. It's gonna be difficult. If you stay with the same people what you had in your country, you can't survive. Yes, you can survive your university. If you want to look for the future, you need to have contacts and you have to get out of your comfort zone.
We can say that Poland is the main gate to entry in a Europe for study purpose and for the living also.
Uh,
If I just want to be a resident in terms of I'm asking apart from this whole thing, if you know,
okay, okay. I know there's a lot of people come here just dreaming about, oh, I will stay in Europe, I will go to Poland and all that. But the one thing you need to know, their procedure is really strict when it comes to letting you enter in the European Union. I think it's going to be way harder than going to Germany or any other Western European countries than coming here. Second, like, let's take an example. Once you suppose you get a visa, you get a 1 year visa, you come to Poland, you're staying. Now, after 1 year, when your visa gonna expire, before visa expire, you have to apply for a residence permit, temporary residence permit.
okay,
And this can take up to at minimum as 6 to more than 1 year. And during that time, you can't leave the country. Yes, well, you can leave the country, but you can't come back. You
so
need to
we have
apply
to
for visa.
again we have to apply for the
Visa,
visa.
visa, yeah. So I have seen, especially in our community, like Indian side and people, our getting a temporary residence card, it's a little bit hectic and a long procedure when it comes to Indians and I will say our Bangladeshi or people coming from Pakistan.
Asian countries,
It, they take usually a long time. And I've seen some people haven't seen their family in 2 years, more than 1.5 years. So it's a hard. Despite of the pandemic, that's the reality.
inspiration in terms of those students who are dreaming to go for foreign studies in Europe or Poland or different countries. So what kind of suggestions do you give?
So I would say like if you coming for base just focus on your studies, then you can come to Poland. If you are coming from the mindset that you're gonna settle here, then I would say it's gonna be it'll get a little bit harder. And I would suggest if you want to proper want a residency, then go for like better Western countries like Germany, Netherlands, Belgium. Of course, the procedure is gonna be same, but I think like you will find more international people over there and more English speaking people. So it's gonna be less complicated and you will have more opportunities. Yes, I would say opportunities if you are coming from IT background and you're gonna study something IT related. So Poland is really good.
Hold some idea of
Yeah, I
studying in
just want to
Poland.
know people that just don't think about that you're gonna come here easily and get settled after finishing your degree. That's not the reality. I know. I've been there in that situation. That's not the reality. You need to work twice harder here what you do work in your country because the language barrier, you need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to do things differently here.
Um, Thank you so much, dear, that you have accepted our invitation and giving so much idea about studying in Poland. What are the criteria, scholarship, documentation related information, and everything which we we want as a plan. I can say a post planner in terms of to know about the Poland study plan. So thank you so much. You have given the algorithm. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Rajat.